everybody, welcome back. Today's video, I'm going to be closing out my October paycheck number 2 video. This has been long awaited. I am ready to just kind of move forward from this budget. October has been a very eventful month for us finance-wise. It's been a very fun month. We were able to get into the spirit of the season, do some celebrations, spend some time with family and friends, you know, the COVID way essentially. But yeah, this budget has been a huge learning opportunity for us this month. So that does lead me into my word of the month. For those of you who are new here, I have a word of the month. It's been something I have implemented into my life for the last couple years since really getting into practicing yoga, just, you know, as a part of bringing the yoga mantra into my everyday life. So the sense of peace and serenity that I feel on the mat, I can bring that into my life as well and have this word for that month to sort of meditate on or recenter myself. So my word for this month is going to be progress. And we are on a debt-free journey, you know, coming to kind of terms with the progress that we're making, even though it may not match the level of progress that we're wanting to achieve, but giving ourselves credit for the progress that we have made, and not just the progress in bringing down our debt, but also the progress we've made in being able to go from essentially nothing as far as financial knowledge or doing a budget, and to where we are now with our weekly check-ins, knowing where every dollar is going, even if it's not necessarily going to the place that we had hoped it would. You know, we're continually making progress, at least trying to keep that in mind. You know, the things that I can control in my life, that our family can control, to keep us on track, to keep us progressively moving forward. So that's the word for this month, is progress. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into closing out this budget. Now, there's going to be a lot of red. We're going to be bleeding on this budget. There was a lot of unbudgeted here, and it kind of made me think of what my grandpa used to say, that the only bad mistakes are the ones that you don't learn from. So whenever you'd make a mistake, he'd always ask, you know, like, well, did you learn something from it? And if you were like, yeah, I did, then he'd say, well, that was a good mistake then. So I feel like that this budget is a good mistake, because we have have come up with some new plans, especially with sinking funds. So some of these unbudgeted expenses that we had, which if you watch my week 3 and week 4 check-in videos, I'll link those in the description box below. You'll kind of see some of the unbudgeted things that we had spent a lot of money on this paycheck. Okay, guys, let's just hop right into it. I'm ready to move forward from this budget. Okay, so what I'd already done my weekly check-in yesterday for variable expenses. So now what we'll be doing is going through income and fixed expenses and any sinking funds to figure out what we're actually going to be able to throw at debt. So here on my transaction log, I had one extra income that had come through. It was through Etsy. It was for 92 cents, which, you know what, I will take it. I am very grateful and also humbled to know that you all have gone and checked out these budget sheets that I've made and, you know, are hopefully finding them helpful as well. Because that was mainly when I was looking into starting to budget, finding a system that worked for us. And so that's kind of where I came to these sheets, the different sheets that I use. And So I'm so happy to know and to see that you all are able to find them helpful as well. Okay, so I just added this little 92 cents here. Last week I'd accidentally totaled everything out. I was a little too excited to get on with this paycheck budget. I think I was kind of over it. But you know, I left the door open to the universe and we got an additional 92 cents and I will totally take it. So 67.29.28 is adding these two together. So I'll just cross that guy out. And now we'll move over here. Let me just cross this off. Now we will move over here to my fixed expenses, and those are all of the pink boxes on my transaction log, which we had so many bills, you guys. Let me see, yeah, there weren't any on this side, but yeah, we had a lot of bills. So first the first one we come to actually is internet, and that came out as expected at $94.99. Next we have, so let me check that off. We have Sling, and this was only 54 cents because my husband actually ended up closing this account. That's the main reason he had Sling was for my husband to watch sports, and apparently they do not have a lot of sports packages that he wanted through Sling, so we're going through Hulu. I'm not sure when our Hulu bill is going to be, but it's going to be $5 more than Sling, so it'll be $55 instead of $50, which, you know, that's fine. So for this month, Sling was only $54. Next is daycare, and that was more. I had gotten off of work late and so had picked up my son late from daycare, and there was a $24 late pickup charge, which is totally understandable. And then the car, that came out as expected. After this payment, you guys, we only have one more car payment left, and then our car is paid off. I am so excited. Okay, our mortgage was $14,0207. That's as expected. My student loan came out as expected. It's still showing pending in my account. So as I told you guys yesterday, I can't tell how much interest I'm charged yet until they've actually cleared it. But I was ready to get moving forward with this budget closeout, so I'm going to go ahead and be able to tell how much we have as cash flow to throw towards debt. I just won't be able to update the student loan amount at the bottom. And then for this, let's see, forgiving, it's over by 50 cents. So $50.50. And when you add all of these together, that totals $4,184.41. Okay, you guys, now we're coming over to variable expenses. This is where things get a little ugly, but we're gonna face it head on. We're learning, we're growing. This was a good mistake. We're moving forward. Okay, so for groceries, we were over budget. We had spent $465.81. Eating out and entertainment, we were under budget, thankfully, our saving grace. And then household and pets, we were a whopping $256.64. Gas, we're over budget, but not too bad, only by 38 cents. My husband, he was over, he spent $158.70. I was also over. I spent $53.82. Our kids, you know, they were on budget. Good for them. Let's see, so 998, and then my youngest did not spend anything. Unbudgeted, this is where it gets painful, was $779.48. If you're just hopping on now and you're like, girl, what happened to your unbudgeted? Okay, you guys, so $498 of this is going to be covered by a medical flexible spending account. That leaves, like $280 of unbudgeted, other unbudgeted stuff. $150 of that was, for those of you who have been watching, was that storage unit for our above ground pool. And then, so we're gonna beef up our home maintenance sinking fund. That's a part of our solution, our good mistake, learning from our mistakes moving forward. And then I needed to replace the battery charger and battery for my camera that I film on. And we would have gotten that anyways because we do use this camera. We've had it for 4 years. It's our family camera. So they were just old. And so, I mean, we don't have an electronics sinking fund, and we'll eventually need, like a printer or a computer or anything like that. I'll leave my sinking funds as is to wrap up this year. There's not much more left. We're going to kind of see it to fruition. But starting in January, I'll discuss with you guys how we're revamping our sinking funds. So in total, we had spent $1,906.05 on variable expenses this month. Whew, it's a big number. Before we move on to calculating our cash flow, what we're throwing at debt, I'm going to go over our sinking fund expenses. Okay, so we did spend some more money on Christmas, which it is so nice to have that sinking fund, you guys. Tags, that was $186 to get tags. I didn't buy anything else for emergency prep. And then, there was a back to school. So my daughter's backpack had broken. She's had it for 2 years, so that's to be expected. So I had just bought her a cheap little backpack from Walmart to kind of limp us along until there's maybe some back to school deals next year or something like that. So yeah, that is our sinking funds. Now let's figure out what we can throw at debt after all of this spending, what we can salvage. Okay, so we're gonna come over here to our income. 67, 29, 28 minus this 41, 84, 41 minus 1906.05. Okay, so it is not this expected amount, but it is something, and I am grateful for that. I'm going to write it in red, because even though it's less, but it's less as far as a negative thing. But when I get that $498 check from my medical flexible spending account reimbursement, that's also going to go it's going to go immediately towards debt. Okay, so next I'm going to come down here to my debt table and update first with the car. The car payment did clear. So let's see how much we have left to pay off on our car. It is getting so close. $744.17 is its minimum payment. So our payment for December isn't even going to be the $744.17 because it's already... all we have left to pay off now is $714.09. Next is the home equity line of credit. This is our debt focus. So this is where that 638, Yeah, you guys, my 8s. When I tell you I write my 8s wonky, it's no joke. Okay, so 15 to 77, 21 minus 638, 82. Okay, so that is coming down nicely. It is down to 14, 6, 38, 39. And we are using a velocity banking strategy. I'm going to be, as soon as I figure out how much interest I paid towards student loan number 2, I'll update this ending balance. We'll figure out how much we're ending paycheck 2 for October with. And then I'm going to come and do my velocity banking monthly check-in for the month of October to see what our interest savings is by using a velocity banking strategy, using a line of credit with simple interest to pay down the principal on an amortized interest loan, which is what our student loan number 2 is. That is it for this video, you guys. This is paycheck number 2 closed out. We're making progress, keeping that word in mind in our finances, in our lives. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are new stopping by here and enjoying the contents of the channel, please consider subscribing to follow us on this journey. Thank you all so much for stopping by. I hope you're having a fantastic week, and I will see you all soon for the Velocity Banking monthly check-in.